Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. Let's take a look outside of the roads with TransGuide. That is at 410 and 151 because we're getting information that there's been a pair of two deadly rollover crashes in our area. The first one, you can kind of see the lights out to the distance on that frontage road near 151 and Loop 410. Let's take a look if we have a better look at another one. This one's going to be at 90 in Callahan headed east. I don't know if we have that TransGuide shot, but we're told both areas are shut down. There's that one. We're going to bring you more information throughout the morning. Again, this is 90 at Military East. You can see where that officer has shut down the on-ramp there at 90 and Military. Again, we're covering two deadly rollover crashes. We're going to bring you more information as we learn more throughout our newscast. But good morning. It is Sunday, 6 a.m.
Good morning.
On November 10th today.
Yeah, a little cool outside this morning. Temperatures not quite as cool in the hill country as they were this time yesterday, but we are enjoying a nice crisp start to the day. It's 60 degrees in San Antonio. Meanwhile, we've got 52 in Kerrville, and it's 57 in Del Rio, 60 in Eagle Pass. It is going to be a nice and dry day with low humidity. Dew points are in the 40s right now, which is pretty pleasant for this time of year. Low humidity all day long for us. And for your Sunday, we'll be looking at mostly sunny skies. By noon, we're going to be at 78. Afternoon high temperature of 85 degrees this afternoon, a lot warmer than average. Sunset's at 5:41, and it'll be a crisp evening with temperatures falling into the 70s and 60s quickly after sunset. 85 is about 10 degrees warmer than average. Coming up, I'm going to show you why we've been so warm, and I'm going to show you what it was like at this time last year. The answer might shock you. Details and, of course, your Veterans Day forecast coming up.
Sarah, thank you. In your morning headlines, a former Uvalde CISD police chief is asking the court to throw out charges against him again. So Pete Arredondo is charged with 10 felony counts of child endangerment. He's one of two law enforcement officers charged for their response at the Robb Elementary shooting. So in a statement, Arredondo's attorney says the only person responsible for the harm the kid suffered is the shooter himself. The attorney says he's convinced his client is being unlawfully prosecuted. The trial of accused killer Shane James Jr. is now delayed after a judge found him incompetent to stand trial. So according to court documents filed in Travis County, James will now have to undergo a mental competency evaluation before those proceedings can even continue. So in December of last year, Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say James killed his parents in Kirby and then went to Austin, where he's accused of killing 4 other people and injuring 2 officers and a cyclist. A federal judge struck down the Biden administration's parole in place policy. The Keeping Families Together program gave legal status to certain undocumented people who are married to U.S. citizens. So it allowed them to work legally in the country as they sought citizenship. Biden issued the executive action in June. Previously, a U.S. district judge had put an administrative hold on the regulation following a lawsuit. In this week's ruling, the judge said Congress had not given the executive branch the authority to implement that policy. Well, the transition to a second Trump presidency has already started. The president-elect has been speaking with world leaders and is set to meet with President Joe Biden at the White House this Wednesday. ABC's Chuck Severston with the latest on the talks that have been happening since Election Day.
President-elect Donald Trump will return to the White House for the first time since he left office nearly 4 years ago. President Biden extending an invitation. As the transition to a second Trump presidency continues to move forward, there are questions about who will be in his administration. Saturday evening, Trump announcing on Truth Social that he will not ask his former ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, and his former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, to be part of his next administration. Another question surrounding the administration is what role Elon Musk could have. Sources tell ABC News Musk has been on calls the president-elect has had with foreign leaders from Mar-a-Lago, including Ukrainian President Zelensky and Turkish President Erdogan. At one point, Musk speaking to Zelensky himself, who thanked the tech billionaire for his Starlink system, which Ukraine has relied on for communications during its war with Russia. Musk has proposed a new Department of Government Efficiency, saying he can slash $2 trillion of waste from the federal budget.
We have liftoff.
But since his company, SpaceX, currently receives billions of dollars in federal government contracts, a role in the administration could create conflicts of interest. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News, New York.
Well, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and Military City USA doing its part by offering resources at no cost for those who've served our country. Zaria Oates lays out the help available in our area, created with veterans and their families in mind.
This isn't just any building with a gym. This is Endeavor's Wellness Center. They focus on the mental and physical well-being of veterans and their families right here in San Antonio.
There's a PTSD men's group that we meet on a regular basis. That's been huge too, to kind of get that fellowship and bonding and have other veterans that are going through the same thing that I'm going through.
David Carr served 32 years in the Army. Some of that time was at Fort Sam Houston. So he chose to retire and become a veteran right here in San Antonio. According to a 2023 survey on the U.S. Census website, it's a decision more than 90,000 other veterans made too. But it's a transition that came with its own challenges.
What I really like about Endeavor is the balance they have. It's not just physical, it's not just mental, it's spiritual, it's all of the above, to include, financial readiness, assistance with employment.
The Wellness Center offers a gym, fitness classes, counseling services, physical therapy, homelessness, and financial services, among several other areas they say assist veterans every day. Behavioral health officer Dr. Joe Palmer is whose research directly contributed to the architecture of this building, keeping veterans with PTSD in mind.
Someone has a lot of anxiety or has lived experience where being inside buildings can be challenging. We wanted to make sure that they can exit quickly, see where the exits are. One of the rooms, you can see all of the entry points, all of the exit points.
While the Endeavor's Wellness Center is created with veterans in mind, the target audience is larger than that.
The spouses, the children, and the parents, and the brothers and sisters, and all of the people that support our service members.
The headache clinic here, my wife has severe migraines, and since she's been doing that, they've been almost, knock on wood, totally gone.
Endeavors offers year-round services, so if you or your family are looking for any of the resources they provide, you can contact Endeavors at 210-431-6466. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Zaria, thank you. And here's a look at some Veterans Day closures. City Hall and several municipal offices in San Antonio will close in observance of Veterans Day. Garbage, recycling, and organics will be collected as regular scheduled, and public safety and emergency services will remain open. 6:08 and 60 degrees. Let's take a look outside with live cam. Enjoying this cool air, 60 degrees. I call it sweater weather. I think Sarah Spivey would agree with me on that. You can see the sunrise just barely starting over the horizon, shaping up to be a beautiful day. Sarah Spivey will have our forecast for us when we come back. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yeah, a nice morning out there. Yesterday was lovely, Sarah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit warmer today than it was yesterday by a few degrees, but I wanted to start the forecast by taking a look at the forecast highs this week. So this week we're expecting to see high temperatures in the 80s, falling into the upper 70s by Thursday and Friday. But this time last year, take a look at this. Our high temperatures were only in the 50s this time last year. I know that's that crisp, cool fall air that a lot of people have been hoping for, that we just have not seen yet in San Antonio. And the reason for that is all of the weather makers have stayed a little bit to the north of us. That pull down that cooler air. When we look at temperatures across the nation right now, you can see there's a cold pool of air across the Rockies, and there's a cold pool of air just right up there in the northeastern section of the United States. So nothing really substantially cold either. Temperatures in the 30s, not too far off of what's usual this time of year across the Rockies. Now there's that upper level low that's pulling in some of that colder air for the northeast. Watch what happens as we go forward in time. All of the big weather makers stay to the north of Texas, including on Tuesday. Now Wednesday we'll get a very weak front, but nothing substantial. And then even a ridge of high pressure builds in by the end of the week, which prevents us from being much cooler after that front moves through. I do, however, want to mention that we've got our eyes set on next week because there are indications that we could get one of those stronger troughs of low pressure that oftentimes pull in that cold Canadian air. But we have to watch that because it's still a while away. But sometime next week, between the 17th to the 19th or even the 20th, we may have some colder air here in Texas. We're going to keep you posted. For now, though, just know that it is going to be a relatively quiet and pleasant week ahead, although a little bit warmer than average. Looking at temperatures out there right now, it's 60 in San Antonio, 59 in New Braunfels, 56 in Del Rio, Bernie at 48 and Kerrville at 51, so kind of chilly up in the Texas Hill Country. And we got winds from the northwest at about 5 miles per hour. In your KSAT 12-hour forecast, just a few wisps of clouds out there right now. By 10, it'll be 71. We're going to be mostly sunny all day long. 78 at noon, low humidity all day. A little bit warmer than yesterday. Yesterday we got up to 82. Today we're going to get up to 85 degrees for the high. North winds at about, again, 5 to 10 miles per hour. It'll be 83 in Kerrville, 83 in Del Rio, 85 in New Braunfels. Pleasanton, you'll be at 85, 87 in Carrizo Springs, 88 in Laredo, close to 90 degrees in Laredo today. And hey, tomorrow is Veterans Day. It's going to be a lovely day if you're heading to Veterans Day celebrations or Veterans Day ceremonies. Temperatures are going to be very similar to today, waking up right near 60 degrees. Right around lunch, it'll be in the 70s, high temperature of 84. It might be a touch muggier tomorrow. You might notice just a little bit more humidity, but nothing that would cause you to go, oh, geez, it's so humid outside. Nothing like that. As we take a look at that forecast, we'll be seeing a pretty pleasant week, dry week for us. Weak cool front arrives Wednesday night into Thursday, keeping us from getting too hot. Our highs will be in the upper 70s on Thursday. What I do not see in the forecast this week is rain. And so coming up in the next half hour, we're going to talk about how November's been good to us, but when you look at fall as a whole, it's been pretty dry, Sarah.
It really has.
Yep.
Thanks, Sarah. It is 6:15 and 60 degrees after the break. A new Behind the Kitchen Door shows us what's in store for restaurants who are wanting to make a comeback after receiving bad scores. Here, and for a lot of people that means stepping away from the kitchen and stepping into one of your favorite restaurants. But before you make plans to dine out, we want to check in with restaurants that are dishing out a comeback in Behind the Kitchen Door.
When we walk into a restaurant, it's usually not good. That was the case when we featured Roy's Pronto Taco Hut on Old Highway 90 near San Joaquin Avenue.
So when you guys earned that 69, what did you think?
That was bad. But after that, we tried to make it better.
But they've really turned things around. In August, Metro Health says food in the cold hold unit didn't have dates. That was the restaurant's only violation, earning them a near perfect score.
How does it feel to have that 98 there?
Oh, better, much better.
We headed over to Las Quesadillas Poblanas on Military Drive West near Marbach. Last November, Metro Health gave it a 66. There were several issues with food temperatures and cleanliness. BKD paid them a visit to get answers.
This is a failing score. That's not good. What happened?
Turns out, not much.
In its August inspection, Las Quesadillas Poblanas actually made a major improvement, earning a 93. So we came to come talk to them, but look, the door, it's locked. There's a notice on the door saying that the landlord changed the locks because they didn't pay their rent. And right below it, a red notice from the health district saying that their health permit is temporarily suspended. And by the way, that suspension came 1 month after that improved score. That's what's behind the kitchen door. I'm Daniela Ibarra.
Daniela, thank you. It's 6:20 and 60 degrees. Coming up, you still have a couple of weeks to start thinking about what you're going to get your friends or family for Christmas. But if you want a DIY option, our friends at SA Live will take us to a spot where you can get creative and make your own gifts. The countdown to Thanksgiving is on, and Christmas will be here before we know it. So our friends at SA Live are giving us a head start on holiday gift ideas. Jen Tobias Strutsky takes us to a paint-your-own pottery shop for a one-of-a-kind DIY gift.
The holiday season is here. Yes, it's time to start thinking about maybe some gift ideas, decor, and Thanksgiving as well. You can personalize it here at Color Me Mine. I have Lane joining me, one of the owners here. Let's talk about the different projects. You have quite the selection.
Absolutely. So my wife Kelly's really good at putting a great selection together. We know the holidays are coming up, so priming up for that. So we do the best we can to give you some ideas and pieces.
Now when you walk in, you'll see this wall here. You can pick from this, you can personalize, and the best part is, I know Kelly mentioned anything with the holes, that means you can add lights, right?
Absolutely, correct.
And this one's so nostalgic.
Oh, very much so. You talk to people all the time, it's like, man, my grandmother had that, they've still got it, it's still in the family. So that's a very nostalgic piece.
And it can stay in the family, like you said, forever. Now, what I really love is the ornaments, because that, to me, you can personalize, you can give them as little gifts, stocking stuffers. So I think we're gonna sit down and maybe work on a few things.
Perfect.
All right, okay, I'm going with the Texas ornament. You've got one of my favorite things in the world, a little coffee there. Let's talk about how therapeutic this is for the people that come in here.
So absolutely, and we talk about that all the time, right? Is you come in and you have to be engaged with a piece. It's physically impossible to hold a piece of ceramic, hold a paintbrush, and hold your cell phone. So you can have your cell phone sitting there, you're listening to podcasts, whatever, but generally you're painting, engaged with the people around you, and you become consumed by what you're doing.
What are some of the memorable projects that you've seen here that people have made for others?
The most memorable one talking about is a lady had a coffee mug and she had a 4-year-old son, and she picked up some pieces and then came back, picked up 4 more coffee mugs. I was like, oh my God, what is she doing? And then I came talk to her, and what she did is she took handprints of her 4-year-old son, put it on the other side of the coffee mug's handle. Aww. And so when the grandparents get to drink their coffee, they're holding the hand of their grandkid. So worked out real well.
That is adorable.
It's awesome.
So you guys can come up with ideas and help people. Maybe they walk in and they're like, I want to personalize something for my father or grandparent, and you guys can help out with
Absolutely,
that as well.
Without question, we'll help you out.
Okay, so for the holidays, tell me about the selection. How often do you get different items that come in here?
So our item selection changes generally weekly, for sure monthly. We have staples, mugs, cups, bowls, plates, that kind of stuff we always have, but we're always changing selection. So Christmas trees may change, the style of them, ornaments may change. So you come in once, you paint a piece, you come 2 or 3 weeks later, you're going to have a different selection. So it's changing quite often.
And when you pay for your studio time, if you want to take a break and come back, you can do that, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to pay another studio fee.
That's good to know. All right, so you guys are located where, so our viewers can come find you?
We're at the Strand at Huebner Oaks, 11255 Huebner Road, Suite 108, in the same parking lot as the Flying Saucer.
And what I really love, we'll end with this, is that you guys walk everybody through the process.
Absolutely.
And so when you walk in, don't feel overwhelmed, because I see how you guys are. You're very helpful, great customer service, and even the different fun techniques like this, the ombre, sponge painting, right?
Absolutely.
All of that.
Yeah, so you walk in, we walk you through the process, we walk you through the paint process. We are a self-serve studio, so you don't have to raise your hand, wait on us to get your paint. You can get it so we don't, restrict the flow of creativity.
Love it. All right, therapeutic, fun, personalized, and you can just relax, right?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
take it in. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much, Lane. For more information, you know what to do. Head to our website, SALive.com, click the As Seen on SA Live tab, or scan the QR code on your screen. Wait, can you turn the hat around? around so I can show everybody
sure.
how cool this is? You can't miss him if you see him out in public.
Can't miss me.
Thanks, Lane.
You're very welcome.
Well, SA Live is hitting the road for the next couple of weeks to celebrate San Antonio in your neighborhood. So the shows start at 10 a.m. right after GMSA at 9. You can scan that QR code there for more fun, arts, culture, and everything SA Live. We'll be right back. It's 6:30 on our Sunday, November 10th.
Good morning, everyone. I've got the sweater on because I gotta try to make it feel like fall at least, even though it
does.
Not in the afternoons.
No, definitely not in the afternoons.
But this morning it does. It's in the 50s out there. Take a look at your screen. Temperatures as you're stepping out the door early this morning, 57 in Lotus, 56 in Bulverde. Good morning, Hondo. It's 54 degrees. Good morning, Kerrville, 49, 50 in Comfort. A nice and crisp start to the day, but we're quickly going to see those temperatures warm. By 10, we'll already be in the 70s, already be in the 80s by 1, 2 o'clock, and then 85 for the high temperature day. At least the humidity will be pleasantly low humidity for us all day long. And when we look at rainfall, though, since November 1st, it can be a bit deceiving because it looks like we've been getting a lot of good rain. We saw more than 1.5 inches since November 1st. That's almost a whole inch above the average for the month so far. But when we look at the start of fall, so September 1st is the start of fall, meteorological fall, we've only seen about 3 inches of rain, which is 5.25 inches of rainfall below the average, below what we should have. And drought has quickly expanded across San Antonio. We've got extreme drought up to New Braunfels, Boerne, Comfort, Bandera, and Hondo. So unfortunately, there is no rain in our forecast this week. However, it is going to be really pleasant, even if it is a little warm with low humidity. I've got to look ahead to your Veterans Day forecast. And then when can we expect some real cool, crisp fall air? Well, there are some indications we could see a stronger front in the next 10 days. I'll have those details and what we know so far coming up. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. Just a reminder for those that live on the north side of town, the eastbound and westbound lanes of Loop 1604 are closed right now at Blanco Road intersection along with Blanco Road itself. Crews are working on a new bridge in that area, and this weekend's closures are going to let them demolish the old one. In the meantime, if you're looking to get across Loop 1604 or head down Blanco Road, you'll need to take the Stone Oak or Huebner Road exits to get around it. Roads are expected to reopen at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Well, this morning we have a better idea as to where authorities are now searching for a mother of 4 from Olmos Park. No one has seen Suzanne Clark Simpson since October 6th. As for her husband, Brad Simpson, he's been charged with her murder despite police not having a body. Brad's brother continues to urge him to work with police. Zaria Oates shares what we know.
1 month after Suzanne Simpson's disappearance, her husband, Brad Simpson, is charged with her murder, and business associate James Cotter has bonded out of jail. Cotter is charged with tampering with evidence and possession of a prohibited weapon. In an affidavit, a Texas Ranger said Brad Simpson texted Cotter on October 8th asking to meet at Cotter's house. The Texas Ranger said they believed Cotter concealed a firearm with the intent to impair it as evidence in the investigation. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says Cotter was released from jail just after 3 p.m. on Friday. BCSO says this was after he posted his recently reduced bonds of $50,000 for tampering with evidence and another $50,000 for possession of a prohibited weapon. Just before Cotter's release from jail, Brad Simpson's brother, Bart Simpson, spoke about the case in front of cameras for the first time.
The situation is heartbreaking for us, but it brings some peace to our family, knowing that the authorities have gathered enough evidence to move forward with charges.
Even with Suzanne's body nowhere to be found, the Olmos Park police chief is hopeful the murder charge is a start.
We realize that this doesn't bring closure to Suzanne's family, but we hope it will allow them to enter the next phase of their grieving process.
There are still several questions surrounding how Brad Simpson was charged with murder His arrest warrant is sealed for 30 days.
I can only believe that there's still impossible evidence in there that they're still trying to either obtain or discover.
DPS also said evidence points them in the direction of Bandera, among other locations, to look for Suzanne Simpson.
I know that they're not going to stop searching, so.
Brad is still in jail with a $5 million bond, including charges for murder, prohibited weapons, tampering with evidence, unlawful restraint, and assault bodily injury of a family member. As the search for Suzanne continues, Bart Simpson publicly appealed to his brother.
It is our sincere hope and prayer that Brad will find the compassion and courage to end his family's suffering by cooperating with the authorities to help us find his wife.
If you know anything that could assist in this case, call the Olmos Park Police Department at 210-822-2000. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Zaria. And San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers, they need your help in finding a suspect involved in a hit and run on the city's west side. Police say the suspect that you see on your screen there was leaving a Quick Trip convenience store in the 7200 block of Culebra when he allegedly hit a woman who was jogging as he exited the parking lot. That suspect failed to stop and render aid. This happened back on September 20th. So if you recognize this man in the photo, or the vehicle, you can call Crime Stoppers at number 210-224-STOP. Well, Mazda has issued recalls for more than 150,000 of its vehicles. Nearly 81,000 of those are 2025 model year CX-70 SUVs and 2024 to 25 CX-90 SUVs. There may be issues with the dash electrical supply unit. Mazda says this includes the defroster, the seatbelt warning, and the 360-degree view monitor functions, which may not work properly during startup and increase the risk of a crash. And Volkswagen is recalling 114,000 cars because of the driver's side airbags. Well, they could explode. Pretty terrifying. The recall includes certain 2006, 2007 Passat sedans and models through 2017. According to Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the airbags pose a risk of exploding due to long-term exposure to humidity and high temperatures. Oh, that's definitely a problem here in South Texas. So Volkswagen dealerships will replace the airbags for free. Affected owners will be notified by late December. Well, Microsoft Paint is getting an AI upgrade. Oh, that's still around. Okay, the company is rolling out new artificial intelligence tools for the program as part of an update to Windows 11. Paint is a very basic graphics editing program that comes free with Windows. But this update gives users access to new features, including the ability to add AI-generated graphics to their artwork simply by typing what they want to see. Whoa, that is an upgrade. And users can create and edit AI images on top of their own pre-existing artwork. Remember, before the internet, millennials, this is what we did. Spend hours in the computer room on Paint. Okay, well, soon you'll be able to get IHOP pancakes and Applebee's riblets at one meal. Oh, that's an interesting combo there. A combined Applebee's IHOP is opening right here in Texas next year, and it's just 35 miles west of San Antonio. Renderings show two distinct sections. One side has a traditional IHOP interior. The other includes a large bar and TVs, usually seen in Applebee's. Both menus will be available throughout the restaurant since they will share a kitchen. Wow, good things. 640 and 60 degrees. Is your doctor getting burned out? The signs and symptoms at your favorite physician might be feeling that way. After the break, what you can do to help. See what the sunrise is looking like. Oh, yep, still happening. 640 this morning, 60 degrees. Sarah Spivey says, you know, shaping it to be similar to yesterday, but a little bit warmer. She'll have our forecast in just a bit.
I think there's a lot of pressures on physicians just trying to do their best to take care of patients, and whether it's time constraints, whether it's trying to answer questions and trying to be the best physician for you, just understand that that's multiplied by 10, 15, 20 each day for each physician. And then
Dr. Sylvia Bostros-Bray is professor and assistant dean at Long School of Medicine at UT Health San Antonio, and she says the rate of physician burnout has dropped since it peaked during COVID. But doctors are still facing a lot of changes during their workday. And remember, the nation is also facing a physician shortage.
We're pleasers. We want to do everything for our patients.
In 2021, UT Health San Antonio started to look at changes to ease their physicians' workflow. It started with a survey asking staff what's overwhelming them.
One of the things of leadership that they were looking for from leadership was that our leaders implemented a listening campaign, and that was to be able to understand what the problems were.
And then following through with solutions and schedule changes. Part of the changes include investing in technology, something as simple as an AI scribe to reduce the amount of time doctors spend documenting each patient visit.
How much time are our physicians spending on the chart after they go home, or how long are they staying after work to do that? And we want that work to be done at the same time. So that it's not cutting into their life work.
These are the steps the American Medical Association wants to see across all organizations, and the reason UT San Antonio was awarded the Joy in Medicine Health System recognition. It's a small step in caring for those who care for us.
What can we do as patients to help our doctors be the best they can be?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. I think sometimes a smile goes a long way when you come into your physician. Just regular social graces are much appreciated.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Gotta take care of our physicians because they take care of us.
Absolutely. And you know what? It is going to be a pretty nice Sunday for us. Yesterday was gorgeous. Temperatures got up to 82. Today will be a little bit warmer, but we're starting off on the cool side. It's 60 degrees in San Antonio, but a chilly 50 in Kerrville, 55 in Del Rio, 59 in Eagle Pass. It's 51 in Fredericksburg. Generally, temperatures just a degree or two warmer than how they were to start the day yesterday. Looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, we're going to have plenty of sunshine today. Partly cloudy out there right now as the sun is rising, but by 10 it'll be mostly sunny. Around noon, 78 degrees, and then in the afternoon, 85 for the high temperature. That 85 is about 10 degrees warmer than average, but at least the humidity is going to be nice and low today. 83 in Bulverde. Bandera, you'll be at 85, 83 in Kerrville, 81 in Los Maples, 86 in Floresville. Gonzales, you'll be at 84, 85 in Pleasanton, and 84 in Castroville. Nice and dry today, dew points in the 40s. That is pretty pleasant on the drier side for us, so at least we won't have to deal with a higher humidity when it's warmer. And looking at the dew point trend, yeah, you might notice a little bit of mugginess on Monday and Tuesday, but before Wednesday rather, but before it can get too humid, we see a weak cool front move through, and that'll drop humidity back down into the pleasant category by the weekend. Speaking of that front, it's going to be pretty wimpy. All right, we'll see a bit of a temperature drop from Wednesday into Thursday with highs in the upper 70s, but that's still warmer than average for this time of year. Average high this time of year is 74 degrees, so we are going to be warmer than average, and this is not going to come with any rain whatsoever. We still have yet to see that strong cold front move through San Antonio. And as we look at temperatures, high temperatures across the nation, you can see it's not going to be abnormally cold anywhere across the nation. Temperatures in the 50s across the Rockies after some periods of snow out there, so that snow will start to melt. And even up in the northern tier of the United States, still in the 60s. So we really have not seen that cold air mass make it down to San Antonio quite yet. And a big reason for that is a lot of the weather makers, or these upper level winds, have stayed to the north, and they'll continue to stay to the north even this week. This low pressure system on Tuesday, Wednesday is what's going to bring that weak front through San Antonio. But right after that weak front moves through, high pressure going to settle over and make things warmer again Thursday, Friday, Saturday. However, there are some indications that we could see one of those strong troughs pulling in some cold Canadian air by the middle of next week. We're talking about the 17th to the 19th. This is what we're watching closely. Will this trough be strong enough to dig in that cold air from the north all the way to Texas? Still a big if, still a question mark, but it is the next thing we're going to be watching. Wanted to give you an extra heads up before that happens. We're still about 10 days away from that happening. In the immediate forecast, though, Veterans Day tomorrow is going to be really pleasant. If you're heading out to any ceremonies or celebrations, we'll be starting off very similar, near 60 degrees, and then looking at a high temperature of 84. It'll be just a touch muggier than today, but you may not even notice the higher humidity because, again, in the week ahead, we're going to have a pretty dry, warm but pleasant forecast with low humidity, and then that weak front will move through Wednesday through Thursday, keeping things dry for us and pleasant. But I don't know about you, Sarah, I'm ready for some colder air.
Yeah.
This time last year we were in the 50s for the highs, so it would be nice to kind of feel a little bit more like fall if you're planning on setting up the decorations for Thanksgiving or Christmas or the holidays. So
I left in the morning yesterday. My neighbor's house was barren, and then I came back like at 10:30, and they had all their Christmas decorations.
They had everything up. Okay, well, yesterday was a good day to do it.
Took advantage of the weather. I was like, good for you. All right, thanks, Sarah. It's 6:50 and 60 degrees. Let's take a look at these lotto numbers. Pick 3, 2, 8, 6, Fireball 8, Daily 4, 0, 4, 6, 7, Fireball 6, and Cash 5, 3, 13, 21, 26, 32.
Your Lotto Texas went right by there. So your Powerball is 11, 20. There we go. Lotto Texas 3, 26, 27, 29, 34, and 54. And now the Powerball 11, 24, 50, 56, 66, Powerball 16, Power Play 2. Good luck, everyone.
Well, new this morning, a driver is dead after a rollover crash on the city's west side. Take a look at this video. So this happened around 3:30 this morning near Highway 151 and Southwest Loop 410. Officers say a car crashed and rolled onto the embankment, killing the driver of the car. Right now, authorities are trying to find out what caused that crash, but don't think any other cars were involved. The identity of the driver is not known at this time. And we're also learning of another crash, this one on the west side. This happened on the area of 90 and Old Highway 90 around 3:30 as well. So police say a car rolled over the main lanes of Highway 90 and another vehicle slammed into that crashed car. The driver of the second car was pronounced dead at the scene, but no word on the condition of the driver of that car that rolled over first. Highway 90 eastbound will be closed. And it is closed right now as crews continue to clean up the crash. 6:55 and 60 degrees. We'll be right back. I can't believe the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade is around the corner. It's happening in New York in less than 3 weeks. And right now we're getting a sneak peek at some of the new balloons in the parade this year. They're making Minnie Mouse making her debut. Really?
Yep. Isn't that crazy?
Man, it's all about
her
Mickey.
debut.
Her debut. Way to go, Minnie. Then we have the extraordinary Nora, the Elf on the Shelf, Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse, Goku by Dragon Ball Z, and Spider-Man will all be in the parade lineup. Will be one of the largest with more than 5,000 volunteers. Spider-Man looks big.
Yeah, he really does. All right. Yesterday, we told you about peppermint mochas at Starbucks, peppermint shakes at Whataburger, and this morning, we want to tell you about Dutch Bros' latest holiday flavors. There will be a hazelnut truffle mocha, the candy cane mocha, and the winter shimmer rebel. What? Dutch Bros say you can get these beverages in 6 fun and festive designs, including candy snowflakes and more. Outside right now, it is 59 degrees in San Antonio. We've got temperatures in the upper 40s in Bernie, 50 in Los Maples, 53 in Sabinal, 58 in Floresville. We'll be looking at temperatures steadily climbing, already in the 70s by 10, 78 by noon, 85 for the high temperature in San Antonio, running about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Veterans Day tomorrow will be lovely. We get a weak cool front Wednesday night into Thursday. That'll keep things from getting too warm, but it does not bring any rain. Any substantial changes to the forecast probably going to come next week, Sarah. So enjoy the quiet and pleasant weather this week.
I love it.
I was taken aback by but it is a balloon. The Spider-Man is a balloon.
Why is he so big?
Because he's a giant balloon.
I don't know. He doesn't look that big in the cartoon.
Because he's not a balloon in the cartoons. I don't understand what's going on. Hey, we're going to see you back at 8 o'clock.
Google it. Tell me if you think it looks big.